See you in a moment. 2 minutes past the hour now. 4 employees took one extravagant trip, and you helped pick up the tab. In April, the staff, who are managers within the Cultural Services Department, took a trip to the New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Festival in Louisiana. It's a huge event, complete with hundreds of musicians, including Elton John, Lady Gaga, and Lenny Kravitz. Their boss sent them there to gather ideas in New Orleans and then bring them back to the Duke City for events here. But city councilors and the chief administrative officer questioned the spending. 4 stayed for 6 days, spending $6,200 to stay at the Marriott on the water, $2,600 on Southwest tickets, and they each got $1,000 VIP tickets to that event. In all, public funds paid more than $13,000.
You don't need to send 4 individuals to a concert with VIP tickets. I think it's outrageous, and that's where we lose the public's trust.
We did the VIP portion of it because they were able to see a whole bunch more there than they would have had they just gone in as a general admission person.
Cultural Services Director Betty Rivera says the city has already benefited from the employees going to that city, to New Orleans. They signed up a band, she says, for last Friday's Zoo Music, and the VIP tent at the Freedom Fourth will have some additions. To see the entire story and how Rivera may now change things in the future, visit the KRQE News app. Meantime, happening today, the Office of the Medical Examiner, I should say, will be back on the scene of a gruesome discovery in an Albuquerque field. Police say a passerby walking in a field in northwest Albuquerque found a hand sticking out of the dirt. Thursday, APD confirmed that a body was found partially buried near Central and Coors. They are investigating it as a suspicious death. Right now, it's too early to tell if it's a man or a woman. They'll remove the body today. We're staying on top of the latest in this story all morning long. We'll provide you that detail as soon as it comes in here and on the KRQE News app. A convicted rapist is spending 6 months in jail. Authorities say 28-year-old Victor Hugo Villarreal was working with the First Serve New Mexico program in Santa Fe when he met a 15-year-old girl. The girl's mother found out the two had been sexting and alerted police. Villarreal pleaded guilty to rape and other charges. Developing now, attorneys plan to sue the county clerk who refuses to issue same-sex marriage licenses in a small town in Texas.
Get on board with equality or resign today!
Both sides have been battling it out on the steps of the county courthouse. It's a fight that started after County Clerk Katie Lang refused to issue a same-sex marriage license. This comes a week after the Supreme Court made same-sex marriage legal in all 50 states. New this morning, lawmakers in Oklahoma are pushing back the state Supreme Court ruling that says the 10 commandments on the state capitol grounds must be removed. The court says the monument must go because public property cannot be used for the support of any religion. State Representative, though, Kevin Calvi is now asking for the impeachment of those justices. This SEPTA passenger is alive thanks to some quick thinking from transit police officers. Look at the surveillance video here. It shows the man falling off the platform and onto the tracks at the Somerset station last night. 2 SEPTA officers jumped down there, pulled the man that injured man, I should say, to safety with the help of some other passengers. At this point, it's not clear why that guy fell onto the tracks, but he did look a little disoriented heading down toward them. Well, firefighters will soon see a pay increase. This after the mayor signed a new contract. An agreement between the city and the union will increase pay by 2.5%. Firefighters will see a 1.25% raise this month. The same increase will go into effect next March. Fireworks and Independence Day go hand in hand, but safety doesn't always come first. News 13's Catherine Mazzone looks at the most common types of injuries that typically happen over the holiday weekend. Catherine.
Adam, check out this infographic. I found it on the Consumer Product Safety Commission's website. It shows you the most common fireworks injuries. Now, as you can see, 36% of injuries are to your hands and fingers. That's no surprise, right? Your face and eyes take second place, followed by your midsection. So how does this happen? I talked to an expert to find out. Most of the injuries, more than 50%, were burns. That makes sense when you're handling fireworks, but what about burns to your midsection? Doctors say that one culprit is loose clothing. It can catch fire, and so can your surroundings. It's dry out there, so imagine fireworks landing in a bush or a tree. A fire could easily spread, but there are solutions. Here's one. Keep a bucket of water nearby. Light one firework at a time and then move back quickly. Never try to relight fireworks that don't ignite all the way the first time. And don't let kids play with fireworks. Even sparklers, in fact, are dangerous. They burn at a whopping 2,000 degrees.
With the adult is handling and doing everything and keeping everybody else at a safe distance. That's probably the way that you decrease the chance of a child getting injured the most.
I also learned that 9,000 people went to the ER due to firework injuries in 2012. 40% of those were under 15. Back to you.
Catherine, thanks for looking into that. Our expert tells us the best thing that you can do is leave all of this to the professionals and go to a public fireworks display. More information on keeping your family safe this weekend is available right now on the KRQE News app. Just search fireworks injuries for some helpful information before you celebrate in the coming hours. The fire marshal is also warning people not to fire guns into the air this holiday weekend. Some people still think it's all right to do that, but as you can imagine, it's not only unsafe, it can be deadly. Falling bullets don't always hit people, but it does happen, and it did in July 2005. Baby Alyssa was only 11 months old when a stray bullet fell from the sky and pierced her head, neck, and shoulder. Miraculously, she survived all of that. The Santa Fe Wine Festival kicks off this weekend. 17 New Mexico wineries will be on hand at the historic Southwest Ranch. Admission is $13 for adults, $5 for kids aged 13 to 20. Tickets also give you a souvenir wine glass. We got much more on the KRQE News app. Give you details on how to celebrate. Just look under the links section. Maybe you want to get your holiday started a little early. Listen to this. The Isotopes will be treating fans to a post-game fireworks show tonight. It follows their game against the Reno Aces starting at 7:05. The Albuquerque Youth Symphony Orchestra will play live for fans too. We checked this morning. Tickets are still available. It's quite the display. We've been talking with the Isotopes all week long about their fun celebration. If you are heading out tonight, you may be wondering what the forecast holds. And Kristen Curry is talking about the timing of all of what we've been expecting along with the fireworks.
Absolutely. First it's the ball game and then it's the fireworks. Now, when it comes to the actual game, we're taking on the Reno Aces tonight at 7:05. We will likely be dodging a few of the spot storms, but temperatures will be nice and comfortable. First pitch about 81 degrees. When it comes to the actual fireworks, I'm thinking around 9 or 10 o'clock these will start. Upper 70s. So again, temperatures aren't the problem. Probably a few clouds lingering around, but the spot storms will slowly start to die off then. So of course we'll be letting you know where those storms develop later this evening, and I'll be breaking down that full forecast for you coming up here in about 5 minutes.
All right, Kristen, good deal. We'll see you in a bit. Developing this morning, meantime, the CNN reporter shot and injured during an alleged robbery in Albuquerque is recovering at UNM Hospital. And new details. APD says 27-year-old Tomorio, his name is Tomorio Walton, is what I'm trying to say. They tried to rob former CNN anchor Lynn Russell and her husband. It happened at the Motel 6 near Coors and Iliff on Tuesday. Police say Walton tried to force Russell into her room by gunpoint. Her husband, former CNN reporter Chuck DeCaro, was waiting inside, and Walton and DeCaro exchanged gunfire. Walton was killed. DeCaro was shot 3 times. Now, more than 2 years after a deadly DWI crash, the adults who supplied alcohol for teens have yet to face charges. April 2013, 17-year-old Wayne Lovato drove drunk and crashed his car with 7 passengers on I-25 south of Las Vegas. 12-year-old Aleander Sanchez and 14-year-old Kayla Martinez were both killed. Lovato is now serving a year sentence, but there's been no charges filed against the 2 adults who admitted to police that they bought alcohol, smoked pot, and partied with the kids. The 2 21-year-olds were also awarded thousands of dollars in a settlement with insurance.
I don't think it's fair. It's almost like being compensated for doing something wrong. So in my opinion, it's not right.
The Santa Fe District Attorney's Office says more charges are possible in this case in the next couple of months. Developing now, the mother of a teen boy shot and killed at a house party is speaking out, telling News 13 at a vigil last night she doesn't want any mother to go through what she has. Friends, family, classmates all marched through northeastern Albuquerque in honor of 17-year-old Jaden Chavez Silver. Nicole Chavez says she hopes that it prevents other similar tragedies.
I would never, want this on my worst enemy. It's a pain that you can't even imagine or describe, but I don't want any other, children, teenagers to lose their life over something insignificant as a party. MMA fighter Diego Sanchez, a friend of the family, spoke out against gun violence last night.
day, the family do not believe that their son was targeted, and they don't know why somebody shot at the home. APD says they still don't have any leads in that murder. A mistake by the CBS Morning News upset some New Mexicans. It happened during a story about the immigrant controversy involving Donald Trump. The reporter referenced New Mexico Governor Susana Martinez.
The nation's only Latina governor, Republican Susana Martinez of Mexico, also denounced Trump.
Yeah, you heard that right. Reporter Nancy Cortez called Governor Martinez the governor of Mexico, not New Mexico. Our phones quickly started ringing after that. Just to clarify, CBS This Morning is based in New York. We have no direct involvement in it. We did, however, call them to ask how a mistake like this could happen. And we were told that it was not intentional. It was an honest mistake. It was quickly corrected on their website. As you know, some people think that New Mexico is not part of the United States from time to time, and that makes it a very sensitive issue here. We reached out to the governor's office to get her response and have not heard back. Time now 6:35. We're learning more details this morning about the killing of an ISIS leader in Syria last month. We'll turn to a look in Washington, D.C. as we begin this July 3rd Friday. Federal defense officials revealed yesterday that Tariq al-Harzi from Tunisia died in a drone strike June 16th. Officials say he was responsible for moving people and materials into Syria and Iraq and worked to recruit more ISIS fighters. Also developing this morning, law enforcement officials nationwide now are stepping up security. Here's why. They're making sure that this holiday weekend is not disrupted by a terror attack. CBS News has learned more than a dozen teams of special TSA agents will be fanning out at major transportation hubs across the country. Counterterrorism teams also have several individuals under surveillance. The city and APD are reminding those celebrating Independence Day not to drink and drive. Officials say DWI is 100% preventable, and that if you do decide to drive drunk, you're going to likely get caught. There will be multiple DWI checkpoints around the city this weekend, and officers will be on high alert for drunk drivers. The mayor is suggesting that you designate a driver, call a cab, or download the Uber app. It's easy to get caught up in the excitement of Independence Day. Fireworks, food, friends. Who doesn't want the biggest and the best fireworks, right? But as Catherine Mazzone found out, the difference between legal and illegal fireworks could mean more than a ticket and a hefty fine. She's in the Newsplex to explain. Catherine?
Well, that's right, Adam. Both Albuquerque and Bernalillo Fire have done surprise inspections for stands around town. They're checking to make sure the fireworks they sell won't be likely to hurt you. Now, here's what they're looking for. It's this label at the bottom. It says caution. That means you're okay. But a warning label like these, that means you need to stay away.
The warning means they have more explosives in them. They have more potential for start fires or injure you.
That's AFD Fire Marshal Scott Esposito. He says people often don't realize just how dangerous fireworks really are. What's more, come the 4th of July, they're often used hand in hand with alcohol, and that can be a deadly combination. But even if you're not drinking, you could still be in danger if you're not buying the right fireworks. They may not look different, but the ones with the warning labels could have more explosives in them. That's opposed to the caution labels. These illegal fireworks could go higher, landing in trees, in your neighbor's yard. That's the thing, they're more unpredictable. Plus, when they explode, they could be more powerful, causing injuries. As we've mentioned before, your best bet is to go to a public display, but Esposito reminds you, you can't take your own fireworks with you. Let the professionals do the work. Back to you, Adam.
It's probably a good idea. Thanks, Catherine. Another reminder, those small fireworks like the black cats, the bottle rockets, experts say those can be just as dangerous as the big ones. We have more information on keeping your family safe this weekend available right now on the KRQE News app. Search fireworks injuries for helpful information before you celebrate this weekend. A city says they've already prepped for a big crowd of people they're expecting at the Freedom 4th celebration this weekend. The Park and Ride will return this year. Adults can get on for just $1. Students, 35 cents. Kids under 9 are free. The service will have 2 parking locations this year, one at the Cottonwood Mall on the west side, the other at Coronado in southeast Albuquerque. For more details on bus ride times, just head to the KRQE News app, click 4th of July, and then 4th of July 2015. The celebration continues in Rio Rancho with the city's annual 4th of July parade there. This is video from last year. The parade starts at Country Club Drive and will end at Veterans Monument Park. A ceremony will take place after the parade to mark the adoption of the Declaration of Independence. Lots going on. If you're headed to any of those 4th of July parades, fireworks shows, maybe you're wondering what the forecast will hold.
Yes.
You have some answers on that.
Yes, I have everything you need to know. We'll start with the Rio Rancho Independence Day parade forecast for tomorrow. It'll be very pleasant with those numbers. We'll start off in the low 70s. Parade kicks off at 10. We'll be in the mid-70s, eventually climbing to the low 80s in the afternoon. And if you are going to stay out there in Rio Rancho, this is what you can expect in the day tomorrow. 88 degrees. Probably going to be looking at a few spot storms in the mix. But the good news is these won't be very strong. It looks like they're going to stay beneath that severe criteria, but we'll likely be looking at a lot of lightning as well as some heavy rain causing flooding. So we'll be watching for that, and I'll let you know if that does happen. We'll break down that full forecast a little bit later on.